All right, I had a little bit of a relapse today. Kind of ironic because last couple of days I've been celebrating the 4th of July, celebrating about how free I've come from food cravings, from binge eating attacks, and then I relapsed again. This is my, I want to say fourth or fifth relapse in the space of a few months. Google my username and Google Relapse on YouTube. You can hear me talk about my previous relapsing experiences. I don't want to rehash them here. Today, once a month, I go to a board game tournament, and it's held in an Applebees. And the waitress there is very nice. She remembers me and knows that I want to, what I want to eat, and that I don't want any butter or seasonings. And today started out very routinely. I had fasted 17 hours before going to the restaurant, as is pretty normal for me every day. Although tonight I might want to start a 30-some hour fast to get over a problem that I ran into today. So I have a good rapport with the waitress there, and unfortunately, what happened today was that after she brought the dish, she forgot to bring silverware, and one of my friends at the table where the tournament was held was asking her something else, and after my friend was done asking her, I was sitting about 3 seats away. You got to remember, we're still a little bit conscious about social distancing, right? So the seats are a little bit farther apart than normal, and so I waved her down and said, "Excuse me," and she didn't. The waitress didn't hear me, and I shouted a little bit louder, and she still didn't hear me, and I shouted pretty loud, and I felt I really embarrassed myself. You know, this is what happens when I can already feel, oh my God, I want to dig in, right? That's when I run into trouble a lot. Now, fortunately, after I shouted the third time, I quickly realized, oh my God. And so I put everything down. I pushed the dish away so I wouldn't see it, and I got out my cell phone to distract myself. Probably not the best approach to it either, but I really needed to do something before I embarrassed myself more. Now, fortunately, this is where having good connections can really come into play. One of my friends, he has some good street smarts, and quickly figured out I was looking for silverware, and he found another set of silverware nearby and gave it to me. But unfortunately, I still am not in 100% control over my eating faculties. Now today, that's not the end of the world, right? It could have been worse. I could have been at a job interview. I could have been in a foreign country where the culture might have been different, and my behavior could have been even less tolerated. I could have been going out on a first date. I could have been any number of things. Or I could have been even more angry than I already was, get myself kicked out of the restaurant. I have gotten myself trespassed from places with situations that started just like that, if you can believe it. And fortunately, I've come a long way from doing that. But even the idea that this still bothers me is very worrying for me. And I'll have to think about what I want to do. I think the other reason I ran into this problem is that we still, let's face it, we still live in a world where it is somewhat acceptable to judge people who have differences in dietary preferences, who have differences in sexual orientation. I'm one of the few people who go there as a single individual, right? And let's face it, we're still not 100% fair in those regards. We're getting there, but we're still not there yet. And differences like that is one reason why sometimes I muse about fasting myself to death. Because I thought about, I'm just a misfit here on planet Earth, and if I can go away to heaven for some time and come back after we have resolved these differences, right? Maybe in the year 3000 or 4000, some of these differences will have resolved themselves, and I can be born into that world, right? I muse about that sometimes. I'm born in the wrong time period, right? I'm just such a misfit for 21st century Earth. Anyway. All right, I'll probably go on another fast, and I'll probably think hard about whether or not I belong on Earth after I get some time under my belt. Usually by the time I get to 24, 48 hours, I forgive people. So maybe I might not go to heaven this time, but it'll probably be on the back of my mind again. Alright, happy 4th of July. Thanks for watching.